third grade. So while we're out for this virtual week, and I can't wait for you guys to be back in the classroom, because we are going to be talking about the orchestra and all the different instruments that go together to make the music that you guys listen to and the music that you love. So I figured this week it'd be really cool while you're out on virtual week, we take a virtual tour of a symphony orchestra. I know y'all have had some introduction to the orchestra, and with all the things that you were doing in the fall with the orchestra that came through here and played some stuff for you guys. And I think you guys did get to go see them perform. So I'm really interested to see what all you have learned from that time, what all you have remembered. Okay, so let's get started and take a virtual tour of one of the most famous orchestras in the whole world, the Dallas Symphony Orchestra. Okay, so I'm going to click on Enable Audio.
Hello, I'm Morton Meyerson. I'd like to welcome you to a virtual tour of the Meyerson Symphony Center. So take a look around. You can select points of interest to learn more.
Okay, so let's check out and see what's going on. So let's move to the sculpture.
Here we are at the sculpture commissioned by Frank Riblin and done by Eduardo Chillida, called De Musica. It's a little over 60 tons of cast metal. Just imagine that. Eduardo came over to see the Symphony Hall, walked around, figured out where it should be before he designed this magnificent piece of sculpture. It was going to be built in Spain, and when they cast it, it was solid metal, meaning it weighs many tons. And the size of it, if you walk around it, you can just look up and think, that's solid metal. My God, how does somebody do that? Anyway, we were very, very happy to get this piece of sculpture, and it has been a great point that we can look at as we walk around. We're now in the lobby of the Symphony Center.
Okay, so let's check out all we got. So we got the promenade space. This will take us to the east lobby, the concert entrance hall, and we don't want to go back outside. So basically what this lobby is when you first come into the orchestra, the hall, this is what you're going to see.
We're now on the east side of the lobby of the hall.
So we can see here, this is just some Dallas Symphony panels. We got the endowment wall. These are people who donate money to help keep the orchestra hall back up and running.
Here's another view of the lobby looking into the entrance of the concert hall.
Okay, and we see some really cool lamps they got going on in there. That's the entrance to the concert hall. Let's move to the west upper lobby. Hopefully, maybe, if it'll work. Okay.
This is the west side of the lobby on the upper level. You're underneath one of the most distinctive features of the building. This curtain wall of glass panes was the first curtain wall designed by a computer in architecture history. I can't opine 100%, but that's what IM told me. So we'll take a look at the view from the concert hall's box seats.
So the big ticket money people who can pay money for the big tickets, they get to sit up in this area where it's more individualized box seat area. And you get a really just beautiful view of the orchestra. So you can see all these different areas here. So let's move down into the orchestra center.
This is the middle of the orchestra level of the concert hall.
Okay, so if you got seats down in this area, this is about what you're looking at. More concert seats, things like that. So let's go over to the stage.
We're now standing on the stage of the concert hall.
So they can go backstage. That takes us backstage. This moves to the choir terrace. Let's see what's up there.
Take a look at the choral terrace. We got this idea from the Concertgebouw Hall in Amsterdam, one of the two best halls we heard. And they had a choral terrace behind the orchestra. We were intrigued with that, and we knew that the choral works were important in Dallas, so we built the choral terrace. I sit in the choral terrace quite frequently because I sing with the Dallas Symphony Chorus, and therefore I've become used to it. The advantage of being on the choral terrace watching a concert is you get to see the face of the conductor and all of the gestures the conductor does. And you see the back of the head of the orchestra members. Whereas if you're in the hall, you get the back of the head of the conductor and the face and the instruments of the orchestra players. It's just a different perspective. The truth is the sound. Here is a very rare view of the organ. Look at the number of keys. It is amazing.
So let's watch an organ performance. This is her going into the organ area. Unfortunately, it's not allowing us to hear the sound very well, but you get a cool little view of it here. So, and you got the draw knobs, all these little knobs help it sound a little different. So let's go inside the organ.
We're now inside the Lay Family Concert Organ.
So in here, these are all the different pipes that you can see in here.
The organ has 4,535 pipes. The largest pipe is 32 feet. The smallest pipe is less than 1/4 of an inch.
Wow. So that's a lot of pipes. Man, that's a lot of pipes. What does this say?
Gene Benelli was our small committee member in charge of acoustics.
That just talks about who donated the organ. That's all that does. Okay, so let's step out of the organ area.
Here is a very rare view. We're now inside the Lay Family Concert Organ.
Ooh, what is that? Spiral staircase.
This is the spiral staircase on either side of the hall. When I first saw this in the design, I was shocked. Why would we have spiral staircases? It seemed excessive. I couldn't imagine what it would look like. Once the hall was built, and I walked in and looked down and I looked up as you are, you can now see that this is a feast for the eyes.
So very, very cool in there. So I want to go back into, we're going to go back in the orchestra center and just
This is the choral room where the chorus rehearses before concerts.
Very cool.
The percussion room is interesting to me because of the complexity. In many pieces of classical music, you will hear a timpani or maybe a cymbal, sometimes the clap of 2 wooden blocks. But in other works, it will sound like a mixture of West Side Story meets symphonic music. So the percussionist is a very precise field. It's very complicated, and they need all this space for all of their instruments.
Yeah, there's a lot of percussion instruments. This
is the spiral staircase on either side of the hall. This is the middle of the orchestra level of the concert hall.
Yeah, whenever you go back into an area we've already been, he always repeats himself. Sorry, you guys.
We're now standing on the stage of the concert hall.
I want to take you backstage.
We're now backstage. This is the area where mostly musicians see, but it's critical in how we perform our concerts. The storage space is quite amazing. There's a story in Avery Fisher Hall that I will never forget. Early in our quest for what to do with the Symphony Hall, we went to Avery Fisher Hall. I was backstage, and I know we're now standing on the stage of the concert hall.
Okay, but that kind of gives you a little bit of a tour of a concert hall that we would see one of these orchestras in. So the orchestra that you guys got to see back in the fall would perform in areas very similar to this in the big cities where they have these big orchestra halls and things like that. So I thought that'd be pretty cool for you guys to see and take a little virtual tour there. Okay. All right. Well, I will hopefully see you guys soon. Bye.